COVID-19. In this juncture, Mr. Raj Soni, founder Edutech 3D, has accepted our invitation, for which I extend my sincere thanks to him on behalf of our Sri Sai Ram Institute of Technology, also on behalf of our Mechanical Engineering Department. I warm welcome you, sir. Also, I warm welcome all the participants from the different institutions and our institution and the students from Sri Sai Ram Institute of Technology. So this is a very good initiative about the 3D printing applications in fighting with COVID-19. So in COVID-19 fighting, in many applications, we are using 3D printing. The industry leader, Mr. Raj Soni, he is going to give the lecture about 3D printing applications in fighting COVID. The 3D printing is nowadays used in many applications, even for the ventilator and for making the face mask and many more things. Also nowadays 3D printing is finding applications in mechanical field, medical field, almost all the field which are available in the world. So this is the emerging technology and used in many industries nowadays. Even nowadays, metal 3D printing is available. Previously, the people they have used only the plastics. Now the people are using even metal in 3D printing. So this 3D printing is finding very good applications. So that I think this will be the one of the best presentation to the students and to the faculty members of different engineering colleges. I thank Mr. Raj Soni for the great effort. Almost now 355 participants are in the meeting room. I think this may increase to 500, and also we have a Facebook page, so that please all of you make use of this opportunity from the industry level. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I hand over the platform to Mr. Raj Soni to take forward the event. Please, sir.
Thank you so much, Principal Sir, for introducing. And Madhya Vanakkam to all. A very good afternoon to one and all present over here. We have gathered over here on this webinar for a discussion on 3D printing applications in fighting with COVID-19. I am Raj Soni, the founder of Edutech 3D in Bhuj, Kutch, which is in Gujarat. Let me introduce a little bit of myself and my company. Edutech 3D is the training provider in the field of 3D printing, and we are the reseller of 3D printing products. We are the channel partner of 3D Education in the Gujarat region, which is New Delhi-based company, particularly in the field of 3D printing education. It is said that disruptions often leads to innovations. A kind of major disruption what we are all feeling right now, that is COVID-19, and it has created the situation which has not been seen by humankind in the last 100 years. It has created the devastating situation for all the supply chains, starting from the need of the particular customer to the manufacturing industry. It has devastated all the way due to the lockdown period across the world. No one is able to receive the goods for the medical supplies as well, or for the local needs. So in the situation of this pandemic, 3D printing has come to bridge the gap between the need and the manufacturing. What the 3D printing did, it has developed a particular system at the end of users. That means users can also make their own things by adapting the technology like 3D printing, because it doesn't require any kind of large scale inventories, it doesn't require large scale of manufacturing units, or we can say the chains of mechanical equipments to produce anything from the scrap. What we need to have is only the material and only the machine, and by the material we can convert the raw material into finished product. So by this technology, human beings have seen a lot of new inventions. For example, the 3D printed face shields, 3D printed face masks, the ventilator splitters, hands-free door openers, which is also kind of innovation, and 3D printed nasal swabs for various kinds of COVID-19 testings across the world. So these all things have been produced by 3D printing across the world by the individual designers, the engineers, the students, the manufacturers, the doctors and various charities have donated these 3D printed objects to the end user, to the needy people across the world, to the medical fraternity also. So let me give you a small introduction about what the 3D printing is. Though we all might have heard about this technology, so we'll not go very deeper into that. But let me keep it as short. It contains the major parts which I have seen in this figure. Starting from the CAD model to the 3D object, we need to have a kind of software which can make the 3D models, which is known as 3D CAD files. After making this 3D CAD files, we need to convert into a kind of file that is known as 3D printable file, particularly .stl format. But the problem is that our 3D printer doesn't understand what data is there in .stl file. So for that, we need to convert that .stl file into a machine readable format, which is known as G-code file. What we are conventionally using the CNC machining and all that things. So with respect to a kind of software which is known as slicing software, we are converting the .stl file into the G-codes. G-code file contains a layer-wise layer information of machining parameters in X, Y, and Z directions. It can be understood by the 3D printers. After that, that file is put into the 3D printer and your machining is going to start. And after machining, we can get a 3D physical object. Let us understand the ecosystem of the 3D printing. The 3D printing ecosystem generally contains four major aspects, starting from the hardware of the 3D printing. In current scenario, we do have so many kind of 3D printing processes, starting from the fused deposition modeling, the stereolithography process is there, the binder jetting is there, the material jetting process is available, the direct metal laser sintering process is there. We can use laser metal deposition process and laminated object manufacturing processes. These 7 processes have been categorized by the ASTM and it is established by ISO as well. So these all different processes contains different kind of hardware according to their particular material requirement. Going further onto the software part, to run any kind of hardware, we need to have a certain kind of software. Let's say, as we have discussed earlier slide, the slicing software we do need for various kind of programming of hardware. We do need software portion of 3D printing. So this also plays a major role in the 3D printing ecosystem. Next comes the material portion. Without that much, any kind of 3D printing cannot survive. So currently we have more than 100 types of different materials, starting from plastic polymers, thermoplastics, to the resins, to the metals and the alloys of various grades. So they are compatible with so many kind of different 3D printing processes. And fourth major topic of the 3D printing ecosystem is the service providers, which combines these earlier 3 phases altogether and make the common people aware about what the 3D printing is. Which the service providers, for example, small startups, educators or individual persons those who are aware about the 3D printing and they do aware other people what the 3D printing is. So these 4 aspects of the 3D printing ecosystem contains its own importance of its kind. If we see the situation according to the current pandemic COVID-19, we can have the innovation is 4 of this type of ecosystem. Let us discuss the adoption of 3D printing across the world in COVID-19 pandemic and what the 3D printing fraternity across the world has done to combat this pandemic across the world. Starting from the National Institutes of Health, which is US-based firm, they have started the 3D print exchange, means at the place from where the makers or individuals can get the certified files of any kind of 3D printable objects. Because this is an open community, anyone can and everyone can make their own models. But it is not feasible to make every model in a large portion because they do contain harmfulness in its own, either in manufacturing side or in COVID-19 growing side. So it is partnered with the US Food and Drug Administration, which is known as FDA, to assist with validating design uploaded by the community. And so far, 18 3D printable products have been approved for the clinical use. Yes, this is not the FDA approval, but it is approved for the clinical use, and we can use this file for the mass production and for the 3D printed community. You all might have heard about this innovation which had done in Italy 2 months ago. Actually, what happened at there, Brescia province of Italy was having the coronavirus patients more than 250 in numbers. Those who are requiring the ventilators because they have contaminated with the COVID-19 virus and they would not able to breathe by their own. At the same time, due to the lockdown situation and due to the over order, the original equipment manufacturer of ventilator Venturi valves was not able to cope up with the demands. So the local startup named Isinova reverse engineered the ventilator valves and they have produced by the 3D printing. Again, they have collaborated with the Lonati, a local 3D manufacturing company over there, to mass produce the valves because they were needed in a much more amount. So Isinova was not capable enough to produce by its own. So they have collaborated with Lonati, and within 24 hours, they were able to produce more than 100 ventilator valves. Again, the second time Isinova has come to rescue the human against the coronavirus. And they have did a novel work in terms of snorkel mask as non-invasive respirators. You might have seen this figure in our webinar brochure also. This figure is about the snorkel mask and the innovation what Isinova had done to rescue the people from the COVID-19. You can see a yellow colored valve over here over the head of this guy, which is known as Charlotte valve and which is used to connect the patient to the coronavirus having patient to the CPAP respirator. It is a kind of respirator used as non-invasive ventilation system. They have produced this kind of valve and they have attached the human to the CPAP mask without any invasive process. Let's have a look at various different companies, those who have collaborated and those who have provided their facility in the COVID-19 pandemic. And automotive giant Volkswagen has more than 125 industrial grade 3D printers with them in their industry. They have made the collaboration with more than 25 other companies and they have started manufacturing medical equipment. For example, personal protective equipment for the medical fraternity. They have delivered that PPE to the local needy peoples. Another automotive company, Skoda, has developed a 3D printing process to produce reusable FFP3 respirators. Now, this is a kind of respirator mask which is costlier than normal surgical mask and which do not have an abundant amount across the world. So what Skoda did, Skoda have researched about that and they have found the method to 3D print that FFP3 respirators. It is reusable, means we can reuse that FFP3 respirator with a kind of sanitization process. It is decontaminated and again doctor can use that FFP3 respirators. Tech giant company HP is employing its 3D printing expertise by turning their R&D centers and manufacturing centers at the local of Spain and the US. And by making the urgent important personal protective equipment they have delivered to the needy hospitals and the doctors. Some researchers, some medical personnel and some academicians have collaborated together to make this kind of, you can see this figure, they are the nasal swabs and it has been made by the community known as Printed Swabs and they have started the campaign printedswabs.org to supply millions of COVID-19 death swabs. Now, this is a kind of state-of-the-art process of 3D printing, which is known as the stereolithography or direct digital light processing. By this technology, they have made the nasal swabs. It is a kind of testing apparatus for testing the COVID-affected patients. So, it was needed in an abundant amount across the world, and the conventional manufacturers did not pop up with that kind of requirement. So, the 3D printing fraternity has found the way to cope up with the situation and they have designed a process to 3D print this kind of 3D swabs. Formlabs, a well-known company in the field of 3D printing also is in the production of printed nasal swabs and a single Formlab printer can produce more than 300 swabs at a time, which has enabled them to produce more than 75,000 to 150,000 swabs per day. And they are all going to distribute this across the world. Again, the Formlabs has received the emergency use authorization from the US Food and Drug Administration to 3D print the adapters designed to convert BiPAP valves. Now, earlier we have seen the Isinova started to cope up with the CPAP valves instead of ventilators. Here, Formlabs have done a great job by incorporating BiPAP valves in place of ventilators for the use of COVID-19 affected patients. They did a kind of T-shaped geometry, and with the help of that kind of valve, they are able to connect the patient to the BiPAP machine. Another 3D printing giant company, Materialize, has released the files for 3D printed door opener. Now, this is a kind of state-of-the-art object which is made by Materialize company, and it is the one of the popular object of 3D printed because it has been downloaded over 50,000 times from the Materialize website. It is aimed to reduce the spread of coronavirus because so many people are in contact with the door and door openers, so they should not get contaminated by touching the knob of the door. On Indian 3D manufacturing company Wipro 3D has innovated a design of no contact door opener, which is having multi-purpose uses. For example, if we have a different kind of door handles, so we can attach this kind of door opener and we do open or close the door, or as well as we can switch on or switch off the various apparatus by this button pusher. So this is an innovative kind of design prepared by Wipro 3D engineers and designers. Next come on the mass production. In world level, there are so many kind of companies, those who have dedicated their entire 3D printing firm on the development of personal protective equipments and use of healthcare and medical care systems. For example, a Barcelona-based BCN 3D company, as you can see over this first figure, has dedicated their entire farm for the production of the kind of 3D printed face shields and goggles, etc. Again, unnamed PP manufacturer in China has dedicated its farm of 200 flash forged 3D printers for the production of goggles, and they are producing more than 2,000 goggles a day, and they are delivering to the needy people across the China and the world. This is innovative kind of project which is also done in China at the time of pandemic in Wuhan. Vincent 3D is the leading company of China in the field of 3D printing, and they are in the construction side. What they did produce a cubicle-like 3D printed entire room, and they have dispatched 15 different kind of 3D printed quarantine rooms to the hospitals which was needed in Hubei province of China. And they have made this type of innovative rooms by solid urban construction ways. They have claimed that these 3D printed walls are 3 times stronger than the traditional concrete structures. These are the movable, means you can make it at one place and which can be dispatched over the required area. So it is not like that you should travel the entire bigger 3D printer as you can see in the figure to the everywhere. You can make this at a certain place and then can deliver to the another place. Next comes the Montana mask. It is a very well known in the 3D printer fraternity across the world. The medical professionals and the researchers at the Montana, they have created the 3D printable, highly effective filtration mask. As you can see over here, the fellow is also a doctor in the Montana region, and they have dedicated their so many days for the development of this kind of 3D printed face mask. They have tested it in vitro bacterial formation. They have categorized over the plastic surface of this 3D printed mask, and they have found that they can inhibit the bacterial growth over this because this kind of material, for example PLA, is prone to bacterial ingrowth. So that was the kind of disadvantage you can say with the 3D printing apparatus, but they have tested it over some time. They have tested for the 3 days, 72 hours, and after that they have found that there was a bacterial growth over that, but after sanitization process, they have removed all the bacterial growth formation which was grown over the 3D printed face mask. So they have successfully tested against the bacterial properties as well. Till now we have discussed about the world 3D printing fraternity. Now let us discuss what our Indian 3D printing fraternity did to combat the COVID-19. The 3D fraternity in India has distributed nearly 8 to 10 lakh face shields overall, from which alone the Maker Asylum in Mumbai has created something 5 lakhs of the face shields, and they have targeted to distribute 1 million face shields across the nation. My parent company 3Dexter has also given more than 10,000 face shields across India, and there are also so many different companies like Divide by Zero Technologies, J Group Robotics, Chisel, Reading, ethereal machines, Imaginarium, Fractal. These are the name of few. Many more are there among the leading players. Those who have dedicated their entire 3D printing facilities to combat the COVID-19. They have produced certain kind of face masks, face shields, ventilator splitters, ear savers, etc. So many kind of equipped objects they have prepared. In India, there was a hindrance in transportation of the goods from one place to another. Means if I want a certain kind of face shields, certain number of face shields from my area, the manufacturer of that is somewhere in another region, let's say in Maharashtra or in the Tamil Nadu. So I couldn't able to fetch the goods from there to my place. So what concept 3D printed has suggested to us, that is the distributed manufacturing. Means user itself can produce their own requirement of the face shields and face masks at their own region only with the help of 3D printers, and they can distribute them with the local region. The 3D printing has overcome the limitation of supply chain. The 3D printing could help to fix the critical supply gap of PPE and medical equipment. Yes, there is a kind of flexibility, you can say, and you can have the a lot of alternatives of using the 3D printing, because in conventional manufacturing, for example, if you are using the injection molding and if you have any problem in the design of the face shield, so you could not be able to prepare the new mold on the spot and change your manufacturing. But instead, if you have used the 3D printing, you have the flexibility to change the design in the printing anytime, anywhere, and at any cost. It will cost you a very little compared to conventional manufacturing. The technology dissemination is mainly due to the open source designs. For example, before 2 months, when the 3D printing has been introduced to the world in terms of COVID-19, with the increase in usage of face shields and all that things, so many producers like Prusa Research is there, 3D Workenstein is there, those who have open sourced their designs to the world. And after that, many small makers, you can say, they have produced their own by remixing certain things to that and manufactured their own thing. Somewhere directly adapted the design of 3D Workstation and the Prusa Research, and they have produced their logistics by their own. So with the help of this open source design, for example, there are so many websites are available like Thingiverse. They are open sourcing the 3D modeling to the world, so that each and every person, those who have the access of 3D printing, can able to make the things, and they can start helping the local individuals of medical and healthcare fields. This was the statistics of last year. The Asia Pacific region, the China has almost 50% of proportion in 3D printing, followed by Japan and South Korea. The India was somewhere near to 3 to 5% only. So there was a very low importance in India 3D printing, but after being experienced by each and every individuals in the situation of pandemic of COVID-19, I'm sure that this proportion will going to increase in a very soon after post-COVID world. So I think it's a boon for the 3D printing fraternity in India that they can use so many resources now post COVID-19, and government might be able to help the 3D printing fraternity also to develop the systems by their own. And this is being started. Wipro and IISc Bangalore have made first indigenous DMLS, the direct metal laser sintering machine, and they are now testing it, and after getting verification, they will be able to produce into mass production. So the full potential of 3D printing is yet to be seen in India, according to me. Yes, there are also some academic institutions, those who are combating with the COVID-19. Let's say Stratasys has sponsored an 8-week hackathon to develop a rapidly deployable mechanical ventilator systems. They have run that from the beginning of March to the beginning of May. And after that, Stanford University has done the similar kind of job which Ipsinova did, is to modify a full face snorkeling mask to use in emergency situation, and it can be used in BiPAP mode rather than the ventilation. It is a non-invasive procedure to give the artificial breathing to the COVID-19 affected patient. US tech giant Autodesk has made some of its products free to access during this pandemic, so you can also take benefit of that. It can be easily available for some period. For many of us, the 3D printing has brought the opportunity. There is also some kind of risk factors are affected with the 3D printing. Despite the good intent behind the 3D printing, there are complications also there. For example, this virus can survive on the plastic 3D printed object for 2 to 3 days. Hence, it is theoretically possible for an infected maker to transfer this virus for someone else who are going to use the 3D printed object. Because some common materials like PLA and all that, they aren't durable enough to withstand the high heat and chemicals used for the sterilization. So this can be a hindering process for us because there are so many advantages by using 3D printing for the medical and healthcare, but there are some risk factors associated with this. So some of the doctors are not going to use this. This is what I do my bit to combat the COVID-19. I am printing the 3D printed face shields in my own 3D printer and giving the face shield to the local medical body over here in Kutch as per the requirement of that. I have been printing these 3D printed ventilator splitters as well, the ear visors also. I have demonstrated these all things to the local body over here, and they have liked the approach. They have liked the 3D printing because they weren't aware about these things. Due to this COVID-19 pandemic, they were able to understand what the technology is. Now they will be going to adapt this technology in so many kind of ways. So this is what I did my bit to combat the COVID-19. You all can do your bit by any means using your expertise with this kind of technology and can help to combat this COVID-19 situation, and hope we'll be able to get through this pandemic very soon. So this was up from my side, and now I am available for the question answer round. If you have any kind of questions from my presentation, from anything else, I will try to convey to you the answer. It is open to all now.
Please, if you want to post questions, please put them on chat box. We'll go one by one. There are general questions about what would be the minimum cost for a 3D printer, and what type of a 3D printer would you recommend for newbies to start up with their product development, etc. Can you please touch upon that?
Okay, sure, sir. As I have discussed that there are mainly 7 types of different 3D printing technologies which has been recommended by the ASTM and ISO. But from these 7 technologies, a very familiar and very cost-effective technology is the fused deposition modeling, which is a common 3D printer we have seen in everywhere, in the schools and the colleges, in the local industries, etc. Because it is very handy and very easy process to be operated, and you can use any kind of thermoplastic, let's say PLA and ABS, which is a very cheap material, cheap in terms of cost effectiveness. So you can use this kind of thermoplastics, and you can make your own models for the product development. As per one study, nearly 50% of the new product development industries have adopted 3D printing for their new product development, because they have able to reduce their cost up to 80 to 90% while they were going to develop any kind of new product, compared to when they have used the conventional manufacturing. They were have to use so many amount of these resources and time and the money into the new product development. But with the help of 3D printing, they have reduced the cost by 90%. Looking after the cost of the normally freeform fabricated FDM 3D printers, they are in the hobbyist version, which is known as desktop version, are available for something around 15 to 20,000, and the normal for the production you can purchase the printer something around 40 to 50,000, and that will cost the industrial grade 3D printer FDM 3D printer would cost around 2 to 3 lakhs. But for initial stage, for we can purchase the affordable desktop 3D version for proper learning and proper hands-on.
Okay, thank you, Raj. And there are a few other questions related to the softwares that are being used for 3D printing, modeling, etc. Can you please just give them?
Okay, sure. So let me focus on the modeling software side. There are so many kind of free modeling softwares available, and some of the softwares which are on the paid basis. Let me discuss both. For example, the Tinkercad is there, the AutoCAD is there, Creo is there. These are, and the SketchUp is there. These are the freeware on into which you can start the 3D modeling. And Autodesk Fusion 360, it is a kind of paid software. You have to purchase it from the Autodesk company. but you can start with the all freeware softwares because they are all very good in parametric modeling. Another type of software which is known as the slicing software, which you would need to convert your CAD model, means your .stl file to G-code file. So Cura is there, Simplify 3D is there. Cura is the freeware. Simplify 3D, you have to purchase it by some amount, let's say $150 for the license. But I have been using Cura and it works very good. And they are evolving day by day. Means they are giving newer versions day by day and improving its user interface. And it is very easy to use.
Okay, thank you, Raj. And many of those questions are around, I mean, these areas like software used, the cost of the product, etc. I hope your inputs would have given them some eye opener. And of course, the entire session was about medical applications, which many of us, especially the engineering fraternity, were not quite interested upon until the COVID-19 broke into us. So this was an eye opener for many of our people that where 3D printing can have its role in medical applications as well. That was a fantastic session, and that was an eye opener for, as I said, for many of the people here, and hope they'll be taking their knowledge forward from this. Thank you all for joining this session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.